Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, good evening. Good to see our wonderful family in here tonight. Good to see each and every one of you. Absolutely. God bless you. All right. There we go. Igu baby, you're number one. Hello, PG. Hello to you, sweetie. Hello to you. In Summer's Army. God bless. God bless. Number two, Lisa. You are number two. Hey, PG, much love, beautiful lady. Hey, girl, back at you. God bless. Good to see you in here. Oh, and number three, Deputy Sheriff. Howdy, everyone. Howdy to you, Deputy. Good to see you. Good to see you. God bless. Much love to you. And Bridget, how you doing tonight, sweetie? Hello, PG. Good evening. Glad to hear from you tonight. Much love to you and the little one, little man, right? Um, much love. Hey, girl, much love to you and yours. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you. Uh, Mel P. I'm number two. I'm number two. Let me see. Uh, no, no. One, two, three, four. You're number five, sweetie. You are number five in here tonight. God bless you. Uh, hey, PG and everybody. Hey, hey, hey to you, sweetie. Good to see you. Finally made alive. I missed y'all. Hey, we missed you too, girlfriend. God bless. Let's get down through here. Bridget, good evening, everyone. In chat, much love to all. Much love to you, girl. Let me see. I'm trying to get to the bottom, you guys. Hey, Australia, good to see you in here, girlfriend. I hope all's going well for you. Many prayers going up for you. God bless. Good to see you. Much love to you, girl. Brat Brag, good evening, PG. How is little man doing? Oh, he's doing good. Doing very good. Much love. God bless. Miss Norway. Prayers for her. Everyone in chat, prayers and love. Summer Moon, Utah Wells. We are your voice. Much love to Summer as well. Hey, girl. God bless. We appreciate that. We appreciate it. Hey, second to none. How you doing? Good to see you. Hey, little PG. How you doing, sweetie? Summer Moon, Utah Wells, Voice Justice. Amen. Amen. Let's hope we get justice soon. Let's hope we get justice soon. Oh, I was going to hey, Ruby Rainmaker, how you doing, sweetie? Hello, PG. Hello, 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 hello to you. $71.92 says I'm number nine. She said she's number nine. That is so cute. Oh, I appreciate that, Australia. I appreciate it. Missed you, girlfriend. All my love. Australia. Hey, girl. We missed you. We missed you. We heard you were going through some stuff and many people were praying. Hey, Linda. How you doing, sweetie? Texas Blue 22. How you doing, hon? I'm trying to get as many people as I can. Aw, that is so sweet, Bridget. PG is the best YouTuber out here. Amen. We definitely try to tell the truth. We definitely try to tell the truth. Hey, Sherry, how you doing? Hello to you. Coupon Mama, how you doing tonight, sweetie? Amen. Amen. No summer, no peace. Every child's life matters. Amen. Hey Jane, how you doing tonight? Lovely London. I have always wanted to visit the UK. Girlfriend, me too. Me too. I have always wanted to go over there. Absolutely. I think it would be amazing. Amazing. I always wanted to go to Scotland and Ireland over there. I want to tell you guys, boy, I love my little time in here with you guys. I really do. I love getting away to my office and and actually, to be honest with you, winding down, right? PG's winding down. I have been so tired, and it's actually nice. It's nice to be able to come and hide in my office for a while, right? It's really nice. I haven't seen my office. I haven't seen my office much. Um, the last few weeks. Because I got my maternity leave and it's not up. It's not up yet. So, and I miss working. I miss working. I prefer to go back like now, but I I'm on leave, so I got to take the leave. Okay. Um anyway, I wanted to tell you guys we're going to talk about Van Hill Road. Um not tomorrow night because tomorrow's Friday. It's the 7th and I observe the 7th. Um you're supposed to keep the 7th holy and it starts on Friday. A lot of people don't know that the 7th starts on Friday evening and it runs till Saturday evening. Um, from sundown tomorrow, or from to sundown on Saturday is the 7th. So I won't be back in until Saturday evening, God willing, right? God willing, we'll be back Saturday evening. But I did want to talk about Van Hill Road. Some very interesting, stuff has come to light about Van Hill Road. So I'm going to bring that to the table Saturday. So make sure you're here to hear what I've heard. And but tonight I wanted to talk about Hunter. I wanted to go over, some of the things he said that, strengthens Summer's case as to the boys getting gaslighted on June 15, 2021. It strengthens the fact that Summer did not get out of the vehicle on Van Hill Road. It just strengthens, everything to do with Summer's case. And that's what, I want the people out here to hear and to understand, because I don't think law enforcement in Tennessee is really doing their job. That's my opinion, my opinion. I think that this case could be easily solved and prosecuted, without a shadow of a doubt, that these people are guilty of destroying this little girl. So let's get started. Let's get started on this. Because I do got little man, right? I do got little man, and my sister's not here tonight. She was here last night. She's not here tonight. and she decided she needed to get some sleep tonight. But the uncle, my kid's uncle, is watching over my little man, and and so forth. But if little man starts crying, more than likely you're going to hear uncle coming through the office door. You're going to pack in the baby, and because he really don't know what to do. Right? He is he is so silly. But I appreciate everybody's help, all my family's help, with the little one, because a little one is a lot, right? I don't think I didn't remember none of this, to be honest with you. I kept telling my sister, that little man, I'm like, I don't remember my other kids, being so much to take care of, and needing, and needing so many, like my house is an explosion of, baby beds and baby swings, and all of this, car seats, and strollers, and like, you can't, there's like baby stuff is everywhere, right? It's everywhere. And I don't remember all of that, with my other kids. I mean, it could have been, I don't know, but I didn't remember, so much stuff. And yeah, maybe I just forgot, but it's, you guys know how it is. You guys know, maybe they just got more stuff for babies now. I don't know. I have no idea. I just know that there's a lot of baby stuff, and everything comes apart. Like, the car seat turns into a stroller. The swing turns into a bouncy, everything, like even the bathtub, does all this stuff, like, weighs the baby, tells how hot the water is, and everything like that. And maybe I was just poor, poorer when I was raising my other kids. Maybe I couldn't, get all of these things that this baby has. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm like, I don't think I need it. I don't think I need all these things. Every time we go out somewhere, my husband or the uncle, they're dragging something back. Like, we went out today. We went out shopping today, and the uncle bought, I think he bought all the milk. I think he bought all the milk they had on the shelf, and all the diapers they had. And I'm like, he's not going to be able to use all of those diapers. He's going to get bigger, and then you're going to have a bunch of diapers sitting there that are too small. He's like, that's why I get the different sizes. I got all the different sizes, and he did um all the different sizes. And then I'm sitting there thinking to myself, what am I supposed to do with all of those? Where am I, oh my gosh. But yeah, and he buys all of this stuff, and then the next thing I know, the baby's got, I don't know if it was 5 or 6 or 7. I don't know how many more outfits, and I've already got a ton. And I'm like, he's gonna grow out of these clothes. No, he got all different sizes of the clothes too, and I'm confused. I'm sleep deprived and confused, right? I don't, with my other kids, I don't remember ever having a swing. I don't think I had a swing with my other kids. Um, I had the crib bed and changing table and and all of that stuff. I had the bassinet and in a playpen. I had a playpen, for when they got older. I didn't have one immediately, but as they got older, I had the playpen. Um, but I don't, and I had a car seat, but the car seat stayed in the car, right? And um, I had a stroller, and the stroller was a stroller. It wasn't a car seat, It was a real stroller. You had the car seat in the car. And you had to take the stroller down and put it in the trunk, right? And you know, it's like, but now they have where um the car seat actually it can become the stroller, or else they have, um, if you want a car seat in the car, and then like a stroller is a stroller with like some kind of wobbly looking baby bed on it. But you can take that off and put the car seat on it as well. It's like it turns into all these different things. And hell, I had trouble getting the bathtub um put together to work, right? I'm like, the bathtub looks like something from outer space. And I'm like, whoa. Um with my other kids, I bought the spongy, the sponge thing, and I just put it in the regular bathtub, right? And bathed my kids. I didn't use one of those, you know, one of those plastic tub things, but it was something that like I said, between the uncles and my husband and my kids, they think that this kid needs everything. Like there's like nothing they don't think that it needs. And I'm like, I don't even know what I'm going to do with all that stuff, to be honest with you. I don't know. I'm still wondering about it. Exactly. Mama, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Right? When they got big enough to sit up, You put them in the, right, you throw them up in the kitchen sink, you bath them, get them out, dry them, and then when they're walking, you just throw them in the shower them up and dry them up, and exactly. That's what I'm talking about. I don't know about all of this stuff. Actually, to be honest with you, the baby department is like a jigsaw puzzle. Anything you buy, you bring it home, and you got to figure out how it works, right? How it's not. I mean, it's like rocket science putting this stuff together, and then it comes back apart. It comes back apart, which I think that's so unsafe. I think that's like so unsafe. In my opinion, that's my opinion, because it's a swing, but you have to take it apart to turn it into the bouncy thing, right? Which then you have to put it back to make it back into a swing. And what if you don't click it in right, or you don't click it in good enough? I'm a worrywart, and I'm like, I don't like this. I like a swing being a swing and a bouncy thing being a bouncy thing. And, um, I don't like the jigsaw puzzle of pulling everything apart and then trying to rework it. It's overwhelming, to say the least. And I don't know. I can't wait until it's time to go buy the high chair, right? I can't wait to see that, knowing my husband and the uncles, they'll probably try to get a high chair shaped like a spaceship or something, or a truck, or a sports car, or something. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You have to be, you have to be mindful all the time. You have to be mindful all the time, with the way all of this stuff, this new equipment for babies works. You have to be mindful. And how you going to be mindful when you're sleep deprived, right? It's hard to be mindful when you're up all night and up all day. And that's what worries me, is the lack of sleep. Yeah, I think I tell you, they're already trying to get um the they're in the toy department. They're in the toy department trying to get Power Wheels, trying to already buy Power Wheels, um, you know, for the baby. And I'm like, they're like, oh, look at this one. It's so cool. And, you know, and they're trying to already buy Power Wheels. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's going to be in storage for a long time. And that's an awful big box. And, like, like I told the uncle and I told, my husband, I said, if you guys want to store it, if the uncle wants to take it to his room and store it, somewhere in his room, great. My husband wants to, for us to store the one he wants, because they're trying to get different ones. If he wants to store the one he wants, a big giant Power Wheel, in his side of the closet, where all of his shoes and stuff go. Hey, I'm all for it. Get the Power Wheel. But I don't think he's gonna like that, because my Christmas stuff and all of my my Christmas and Easter and, you know, 4th of July and all my holiday stuff is taken up, um, the extra space, like the extra storage I have in the garage and I have, in the house and then I've got my quilts and blankets and, my linen closets. They ain't gonna put nothing in there. And so I'm not sure where they're going to be storing all this stuff. They need to think about it because it's going to be like a couple of years. It's going to be a couple of years before, the baby can ride a Power Wheel. They got to be like, what, 3-4 years old before they can ride a Power Wheel? That's insane. Welcome, everyone. Oh, Brad, I so appreciate that. Absolutely. Hit the thumbs up, you guys. Please hit the thumbs up. But anyway, let's listen to Hunter.
What do you think should happen to the person that did this to Summer?
Person that did this,
Yeah.
they should be locked up for a very long time.
They should be locked up for a very long time.
See, he said they. He said they should be locked up for a very long time.
What do you think should happen to the person that did this to Summer?
Person that did this,
Yeah.
they should be locked up for a very long time.
They should be locked up for a very long time. Not he, not she, they. So Hunter is thinking there's more than one involved in this problem.
I think Hunter knows that there's more than one wrapped up in this. And I believe Hunter is one of them that's wrapped up in all of this, right? That's what I think. And Chris is so right. He said they, right? They should be locked up for, and he gave them an easy sentence. Did you notice that he said they should be locked up for a very long time? Like, he didn't say they should be locked up for life and the key thrown away. He didn't say that they should, get the penalty, the big penalty. He didn't, he took it easy on them. Like, they should be locked up for they should be, able to get out. They should be able to get out of jail at some point. At some point, even if they get locked up for a long time, they should still have that day to look forward to coming out of jail. And I found that suspicious too, because he didn't want them serving life without parole. He was giving them an easy sentence as well. The hope of being free again. Hey, Granny's house. I hope everyone's been okay. Hey, we hope you've been okay too, girlfriend. Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I you know what, Charlene, I agree. I think it does weigh on him. Something like this, definitely he's packing it, and the older he gets, the harder it's going to be to pack it. When Don Wells passes away, it's going to, and Candace is way older than Hunter, and Candace passes away. With each one of these people passing away from this case, if it goes that long, which I don't think it's going to, but if it goes that long, and Don passes away, and Candace ends up passing away, like Allison did, Leslie did, and all these other people have been doing, Hunter, Hunter's going to feel, right now he don't feel that he's packing the whole burden on his own. He feels that, other people's packing it with him, birds of a feather flock together. They're all carrying this load, not just him. But I think as these people, pass away out of the world, the burden for him is going to get heavier. It's going to get heavier and he's going to get more afraid. He's going to get more afraid because he's going to be left alone, right? He's going to end up being left alone with that heavy burden on him and no one to share it with. No one to share it with. Right now, he has people to share it with. And it makes it easier. It makes it easier when, you've got these people to share it with.
Somebody go into the store, or did you go through drive-through again?
Drive-through again.
And where are you sitting at this point?
The same. Well, I was sitting in the middle because she was the person that was wet, and so
she was the person that was wet. I was sitting in the middle because she was, on the driver's side. She was on the pillow. She's the person that was wet.
She was the person that was wet, and so she had a pillow under her.
Got it. So she's sitting on a pillow.
Mm-hmm.
The baby is.
Yeah.
Summer. Did somebody go into the store, or did you go through drive-through again?
Drive-through again.
And where are you sitting at this point?
The same. Well, I was sitting in the middle because she was the person that was wet, and so she had a pillow under her.
Got it. So she's sitting on a pillow.
Mm-hmm.
The baby is.
There you go. There you go. The baby was wet. He said, did you guys go into the store? No, we went through the drive-through again, talking about going through Walgreens. And the baby was wet when they went through Walgreens. So therefore, the baby was wet when they went through Sonic's. And the baby was wet when they got to the grocery store. And the baby was wet when they showed up at Allison's house. And Hunter jumped out, ran in the house, went to his bedroom, shaking, trembling. Right, his teeth were chattering, and his hands were shaking. His knees were knocking. He wasn't wanting to come out of the room. He was all, mentally messed up and disturbed, and having a bunch of issues, rocking back and forth, and totally freaked the hell out, right, by what conspired at that swimming hole. And I say he had good reason to be, right? He had very good reason to be. Because I don't think it really hit him going through Walgreens. I don't think it really hit him going through Sonic's to get something to drink. I don't think it really hit him until Grandis and Candace left him in that vehicle at Priceless while they was in there getting the milk and some stuff to, for the boys to devour once they get home. I think that he had time to sit there and sink in and look at and understand what he had done, right? What he had done for Candace. That's my opinion. I'm going to keep it. And I think it freaked him the hell out. Sitting in the back of that vehicle with an unlived child while these people are inside of a store. He's all alone with a child that's no longer with us. And he knows it. And I bet you 10-1, that was some scary shit for Hunter. Hunter likes to act tough, and he likes to act brave, and he likes to act big. But old boy's ass was shaking in his boots. Because that's scary shit. It is scary. There's people who transport organs, right? They transport organs from one hospital to another. They have to go pick it up and run it and run it to another place, and they've only got a certain amount of time to be doing this stuff. And, it's pretty freaky because sometimes you can get called out in the middle of the night, right? You can get a phone call 2 or 3, 4 o'clock in the morning saying, hey, you need to go to this place and pick this up and take it to this other place. And, and so you go and you pick it up to take it to the next destination. And you're on that dark road. You're driving down that dark road to your next destination, and it can get pretty freaking weird and scary knowing that you got something, you're packing something that's from someone that's no longer with us. And it's a possibility that when you look in your rearview mirror, the person's going to be sitting there, maybe looking for their body part that you got tucked away to take somewhere else. So, that could be pretty weird even for grown adults. And kids can't be transporting this stuff. You got to be a grown adult to transport this kind of stuff. And it's, it can be very disturbing and nerve-wracking, as I said, being in that car. You don't have no issues or anything when you go to pick it up, and you have no issues when they put it in and other people around. But the minute you get in that vehicle by yourself and you're going down that damn dark highway or that dark back road, it's like, whoa, you really try not to think about it, right? You don't really want to look in your rearview mirror, and you just keep your eyes straight ahead and, do what you need to do. But you be freaking out, you get a little shaky, packing that stuff around. And if people who, transport, these organs like that, get shaky, how much shakier is a 15-year-old kid going to be sitting with the whole entire body next to him, right? That, how many people want to climb in a hearse with the coffin opened? Who wants to climb in the back of a hearse with the coffin open and ride to the freaking cemetery? I don't think you're going to get many takers to climb in the back of a hearse to go to the cemetery. It's like, oh, hell no. Right? I don't think so. Not today. Maybe next time, that would be, that would be, could you imagine the Undertaker open the back door to open the back door to hearse and be like, hey, jump in. You can ride with your loved one. What the hell? We left the coffin open for you. Yeah, I don't think so. I'd be, you ever see a hearse that, has 2 big long benches in the back where the coffin slides down the middle, and they got 2 big long benches for all the family to get in and set so they can stare at their loved one all the way to the cemetery? I don't think so. I ain't seen one. I haven't ever seen one. And this is what Hunter was doing. Hunter was sitting in that back seat. In my opinion, he's sitting in a back seat with an unlived child, staring at it the whole entire time. And then when they come back out and get in the vehicle and take, he's mentally disturbed. He's already mentally disturbed when they came back out to get in. and they're on the ride home, all he's thinking about is, I need to get out of this vehicle. I need to get out of this vehicle. I need to get away from this, right? I'm mentally messed up from this. I just want to, I just want it all to go away. And when they got back to Allison's house, I bet you 10-1, he jumped the hell out of Grandis's side of the vehicle, because that's how he got in. They moved the boxes and everything so he could get in on Grandis's side of the vehicle. He plainly stated, we moved the boxes to the back trunk that was in the seat and back of Grandis. He said Grandis wanted to sit in the front and he had to sit in the back behind her, and they moved a bunch of boxes and everything so he could sit there. That means he got in the back door of the passenger side, not the driver's, the back passenger side door is what he was using. And when his ass got to his house, that is what he used, was the same door. And when he jumped out of it, he ran around that vehicle straight up into that house. And Candace got out and packed Summer up in there. And Grandis hobbled her ass up in there too. Trust and believe me. They hobbled themselves inside of Allison's house. And I do believe that they might have left Summer there while they ran to a car wash. Because when you looked at the picture, when you look at the picture of Summer right here on these milk jugs, that back window looks wet. The back window looks like it had been raining, and there was no rain that day. But the back window looks like it, like it had water on it, like it had been raining or something. There was no rain that day, so it had to have been a car wash. They must have ran to a car wash, in my opinion. And why would they bother to go to a car wash? Because they had evidence that they needed to get rid of. They went to that car wash because they needed to clean that out. And another thing is, remember the Skittles? Put a 1 in the chat if you remember the Skittles on the seat. The candy that was on the back seat of the vehicle when they were driving back to the house. There was candy laying in the back seat of the vehicle, and this candy looked brand new. This candy did not look like it was wet or it was, old and faded. You know what I'm saying? Old candy when you see old candy. It didn't look washed. It didn't have that washed look that that candy would have with a wet child, and and a wet teenager sitting all on top of it and everything. It didn't have that look. That candy looked like it might have been scattered around for show. Like what I'm saying is, the damn seats look too damn clean for that candy to be scattered on. Put a 2 in the chat if you agree with me. Those seats looked way too clean for that. It looked like that candy had just been bought at the store and poured out on that seat for show, because it showed no signs of damage whatsoever. And I think that was to throw law enforcement off. I think that was to throw law enforcement off about them going to the car wash. if you ask me. You know, they want to try to make it like the car hadn't been cleaned up prior to all of, you know, to that day. They didn't want to make it look like the car had been, you know, cleaned prior to June 15th, 2021. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Summer, did somebody go into the store or did you go through drive-through again?
Drive-through again.
And where are you sitting at this point?
The same. Well, I was sitting in the middle because she was the person that was wet, and so she had a pillow under her.
Got it. So she's sitting on a pillow.
Mm-hmm.
The baby is.
Yeah.
Summer.
There you go. There you go. She's wet. They did not change her at the swimming hole like Candace and Don Wells tried to say and lied about. Right? They did not change her. Candace didn't go to the back of Grandis's vehicle and get that school outfit out because Summer was cold after swimming, and dressed her at the swimming hole and you know, and put her up in the vehicle so that she wouldn't be wet and cold. Hell no. I'm like, that just don't sound like this lazy bitch. Right? It don't sound like her. Because this is a woman that don't give an F about children at all. Her children, your children, nobody's children. She cares about nothing like that. She ain't into feeding or dressing or taking care of children, right? The only thing she's into is some really sick, demonic shit when it comes to children. And it has nothing to do with anything, you know, anything righteous towards a child, like feeding it properly or taking care of it properly, making sure it's safe or anything like that. So I thought that was strange. And, you know, and when I heard, you know, him say, oh, no, she was wet on the pillow, I said, bingo. Exactly. I always thought she was changed at Allison's house. I always thought that couple of days later when Grandis and Candace went back, they went back for something, right? They went back. They wouldn't go back unless there was something they needed to, you know, to gain from Allison's place. And it was the bag and suit, the clothes. It was the clothes. That's what it was. Oh, I appreciate that, Mama. I appreciate it. God bless. Justice for Summer Wells. Amen. I appreciate you supporting the channel. God bless. But yeah. Yes, Charlene, allegedly, from what I'm understanding, allegedly, she did. They said the little boy had been brutally beaten with what they determined was a ball bat. That's what I heard. I heard that that particular little boy had been brutally beaten with a you know, foreign object like a baseball bat or something like that. And pretty bad. And he won't ever be right. He won't ever be able to live a normal life the rest of his life. And the only reason that Candace got away with what happened to the little boy was because Child Protective Services failed to take the child for the well health care check before taking it to the foster home. That's why Candace got away with it. When they took it to they took it straight from there to the foster home, and the foster parents, the child, you know, was having complications, and the foster parents took it to the hospital, where they determined that the child had been brutally abused. And at that point, then Candace started, and her husband that she was married to at the time started trying to put it off on the foster family instead of themselves. And that's Child Protective Services dropped the ball. And even though the caseworker knew that she delivered this child in that state to the foster family in order for them to take it to the hospital to do her job. That's what she did. She dropped the child off to this foster family so they could do her job instead of her doing it. She basically took the child there and said, the child needs to go to a hospital. And they took it to the hospital, but because they delivered it to the hospital instead of the caseworker, it destroyed the case, because they put it in someone else's hands outside of authority, if you understand, if you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's how Candace got away with what she done. But they still had enough to file charge. I mean, Candace knew that in a court of law, she would have lost. He would have lost the case. Her and her husband would have lost the case, because the caseworker knew the child needed to go to hospital, and had the foster family do it instead of her, and she, so that would have been told in the courthouse, and Candace would have lost the case. So basically what Candace did is she ran, right? She fled from everything, and her husband fled from it, because they didn't want to be prosecuted. And the state just ended up, picking up everything for those two children. And the brother, both of the kids, the girl, she was adopted, but then returned back to the agency. And then after she was returned back, see, a lot of people, what people don't understand is, in Child Protective Services, okay, caseworkers, a lot of people adopt children. There's a lot of people who adopt children. They're married, and they want to extend their family and stuff, and they take these children in, and they adopt these children. And what happens is, the family falls apart. They get divorced, and they go their separate ways, and the woman don't want the adopted child. She don't want to take a ready-made family into her new marriage or her life. And the man don't want to take adopted child, with him into his life. Nobody wants to take the child. So what happens is the child goes back into the system. And when the child goes back into the system, it's older. Now it ain't a cute little, 1, 2, 3-year-old child that someone could take and, raise as their own. The kid's like 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, and it goes into a foster home, and then the next thing you know, goes into another foster home, and then it ends up into another foster home, and it pretty much does what they call foster out. That means they go from one home. They don't ever have a real home. They just move from home to home until they're old enough to go out there on their own, and they have nobody. They have no family. They have nothing. And that's what pretty much happened to Candace's oldest daughter. And, even though she kept up with her brother and everything, her brother was, pretty much in the same fix as she was. He needed special care. And the homes that he was in, they got money for him. If you take in children with disabilities like that, you get paid pretty good money for doing that. If you take in normal children like Candace's daughter, you just don't get the benefits that you would get for like the brother. So a lot of people are more inclined to keep the disabled children because of the money than they are regular kids, that's becoming teenagers and becoming a lot of trouble. They'll put them back into the system because they feel the little bit of money they're getting ain't worth the responsibility of a teenager that, anything can happen to. And most of them foster homes have other foster kids, and they're taking a risk of all the kids getting removed over this one kid that they can't control. You see what I'm saying? And that's what happens a lot of times. And a lot of times, like Child Protective Services will get a 1, 2, 3, 4-year-old child that they could adopt it out, that a lot of people would have took in, right? A lot of people would have adopted it, kept it, raised it as their own. But they put it into foster care, and you got this foster parent, who wants to keep the child for the money while it's little, right? When it's little, and they don't have to do much. All they have to do is, feed it and dress it, and they just got to put a roof over its head, some clothes on its back, food in its mouth, and what happens is, they want to keep the child in that foster home, and these people take care of it up until it's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, until it starts to get, mouthy and starts to become a problem, starts to, ask questions and so forth and so on. And then they want the kid out of their home. They want to bring in more younger kids and foster them instead of these older kids. They don't, it's like, we don't do older kids. So basically what the Child Protective Services will do is they'll move that child now to another home, and then the people there, put up with it for a little while, and they'll move it to another home. And what happens, by the time these kids are 15, 16, 17 years old, they're running away, right? A lot of them's runaways. They have to search them, find them, put them back into foster care, and they become, some of them go into halfway houses and so forth and so on, and just basically age on out of there, because they've just lived a miserable, shuffled around, hellacious life, right? And they're always hearing, and I'm going to tell you one thing about a lot of foster families. I can't say all of them, but a lot of foster families. A lot of foster families will tell those foster children, we need to spend time with our children, with our family, and like you're not invited, right? I need all of the foster kids to go to their rooms, or all the foster kids, to be babysitted and watched by a neighbor or a family member or a babysitter, an agency called in, while they go to their family reunion, or they have a cookout with their family and spend family time with just their family. And you know how outside, do you know how that makes the foster children feel? These people don't care how they make those foster children feel. Here's what I think. This is just my thinking. If you open your door up to children, you open your door up to any children. I don't care if it's the neighbor kids. I don't care if it's foster kids. I don't care what kids it is. You open your door up to those children. They just became part of your family until they leave. They just became like one of your own children. And if you're going to go get ice cream, then you're going to have them call their parent and get permission to go with you to get ice cream. Everybody's going to get ice cream. You're not going to say, oh, because you're a neighbor kid, you're going to have to, go home, or you're going to have to, stay here and not get no ice cream. No. You take those kids and you go get ice cream, and you get ice cream for everybody. If you're going to go out to dinner, if you plan on going out to dinner, and you tell your child that another child could spend the day and the night with them, and you plan on going out, everybody going out to dinner, you take that child with you. You don't tell it needs to stay home, or it needs to go now. Oh, well, you're going to have to go back home. No. You take that child with you. If you're having a cookout, you include those children. They just became your family. What the hell you talking about? You need to spend time with your family. That is your family right there. But those people who take in foster kids are very mean. A lot of them can be very mean. That's my opinion. I'll keep it. And they try to instill their beliefs and their bullshit into other people's children. They know that the parents are working to get their kids back. They know that this child is not a permanent fixture, because they let the kid know that while it's there. But they still try to instill their beliefs on that child. And that's not right. What I'm trying to say is, they can't take the child to their family reunion, or they can't let the child, participate in their big family cookout, their family me time. They can't let the children or child participate in that. But they can take the child, to their weird church that family don't believe in, that the biological child's family may not believe in, but they'll take your child, to some weird church to bow down to statues and stuff. They can, they take your child you know, if they're into satanic stuff, they take your child to that satanic crap. But they can't let it be part of a cookout or a family reunion or anything like that, because that's just for their family. Well, I think the way your ass believes is just for you too. Right? So why are you pushing that off on children? There's a whole lot goes on inside that system that people don't know about, that people do not think about. But I'm going to tell you something. Candace Wells' oldest daughter knows all about it. And so does that little boy that was severely abused. And so does the 3 boys that have been took. And so does the little baby that was taken away in Arkansas, right? Those children all know about what that is to be shuffled in a system that has no mercy on children as well, in my opinion. Just saying. There was one lady that took in, like, this woman really did, it's a true story. She took in like hundreds of children over a course of years. Not just, not just 20, 30, or 40. This woman made a career of taking in, abused children for family services. And she was a real good woman. I mean, this particular woman, her home was their home. When you came to her home, you was family. She did it right. And a lot of the children that passed through her home came back to her home. Even after they aged out or was returned to their family, they still came back and to see her and visit her and hang out with her because they loved her. She was a very good woman. Well, they had this one child they took there as a baby. And do you believe that they lost the records to that child? And this woman raised this little girl as her own daughter for years and years and years. And finally they came and seen the little girl. They didn't even know that they had left her there. The woman told them, "You left this child here. I've been raising her all these years." They didn't even have no idea who the child was until this woman enlightened them about it. And then they decided to move the child away from her. After she's attached to it. After, she thought that they just going to let her have it and keep it. They take the child away from her because they had some high and mighty rich people who wanted to take the child and adopt the child, which they did. And, there was some paycheck there, right? That is true. There's some paychecks going on behind the scenes. And it didn't work out. The marriage didn't last. The child ended back up inside of the system and back into this woman's arms. Yeah, that's a true story. True story. And the little girl told the lady, "I couldn't wait to get back to you." But that's a true story.
Pulls up that morning.
Had to have been like around 11, right?
Okay.
Or 10 or
No, just from your memory, not from Mom's
I think
memory.
it was at least 10 because I was up all night.
And it could be wrong, too.
And good night, Momo. And I appreciate you supporting the channel tonight. God bless you.
too, right? Okay, so let's just kind of put that right there, okay? Because like you said, you're not good with times right now.
Yeah,
Okay.
I really just don't pay attention to time.
Straight up. Okay, so then what happened?
And then, like I said, dapped up, we went inside, talked about it. And then she said, you want to go fishing summer? I said, do you care if I come with? Because it's summer. And I treated her like a little sister.
Right.
And she said, you got to ask Allie.
Okay.
But she
Now, see, he's lying. Hunter is lying, right? You guys know it, and I know he's lying. Now listen to what he said right there. I want you to listen to this again.
Put that right there, okay? Because like you said, you're not good with times right now.
Yeah,
Okay.
I really just don't pay attention to time.
Straight up. Okay, so then what happened?
And then, like I said, dapped up, we went inside, talked about it. And then she said, you want to go fishing summer? I said, do you care if I come with? Because it's summer. And I treated her like a little sister.
Right.
And she said, you got to ask Allie.
He's lying because him and Candace had already been texting, right? They were already texting. We don't know what they were texting about, but law enforcement does. They already been texting about Grandis being there at the hospital. And then Hunter calls Candace, right? He don't want stuff on text. He calls her. When he calls her, they're talking. And that's what she was doing by going to his house. She was going to pick him up. She was going there to pick him up. And when she got there, she had put Summer in her bathing suit, according to Hunter. And I believe that. I believe that. And I tell you why I believe it. It's because Summer had a sundress on. She had a sundress on that was down in that box that Kathy, the friend, had. That was the little sundress that Summer had been wearing that morning, like a little nightgown type dress. And Candace had to have put her bathing suit on at Hunter's house because she was wearing a sundress. The tree trimmer that went up to the vehicle and talked to Grandis and Candace seen Summer in the back seat and took note that she was wearing, like, you know, a nightgown type dress. And that's what that was told to law enforcement. And it was in that box. The same thing he described was in the box. He didn't say the little girl had on a bathing suit. He said she had on that, you know, that sundress and was in the back of the vehicle. So I believe what Hunter said. And I believe that Allison washed that sundress. And I believe that Allison also washed that bathing suit. And I believe that is what Candace came back to the house to pick up, was what Summer had on that day at the swimming hole when, you know, when she got put into the new outfit and propped up on the milk jugs. Candace wasn't about to have those clothes that, you know, that Summer had been unalived in. She wasn't about to have that stuff, you know, take that stuff home. Because she knew she's going to be calling law enforcement, right? She knew she's going to be claiming that Summer's missing. And she wasn't about to have that stuff at her house. So she left it at Allison's house in order to bleach it up, wash it up, and get everything, any odor or anything out of it, so it could not be used in a court of law against her ass. And Allison did it. Allison did it because her son was involved. She was going to do whatever it took to protect her son's ass. And if that meant bleaching up and washing up and scrubbing up the clothes that this child was unlived in, then that's what she's going to do, right? Yeah, That's my opinion. I'll keep it. And I bet you 10-1 I'm right. And that's why Candace and Grandis went back to Allison's house a couple of days later. They didn't go back there to talk to Hunter. They took their asses back there to get a hold of those clothes at Allison's house before Allison turned them over to law enforcement or done something stupid. They needed to get those clothes back in their possession. That's what that was about.
Okay.
But she calls her Candy or Candace, and then she calls her Allie or Allison.
Okay, so she asked you, do you want to go fishing?
No, I asked if I could come with because Summer was going.
Got it. And she says, ask your mom.
Yes.
And what did you do?
I went to ask her. She said that's fine because there's no problem with going fishing for a little bit and come back.
Sure. And what was, when you first saw Summer that day, what was your impression?
It's just how it usually is. Just like, yay, she's over here. I mean, I don't know.
What draws you to Summer and what draws her to you?
I mean, I think it's because I show her a lot of attention.
Oh, interesting.
Like,
yeah.
Not weird attention, but I show her attention.
Why would he have to say not weird? I mean, if someone was talking to me, even when I was a teenager, per se, if someone was talking to me about a child, I wouldn't mention weird attention because I wouldn't even have thought of that. I wouldn't even have thought about weird attention, because I wasn't weird. That's not a statement that I would have made. I find it weird that he made that statement. It's just, it don't sound right. It don't sound right. Like, usually somebody makes that kind of statement, your eyebrows go up, right? Like your eyes get big and your eyebrows go up. You're like, whoa. I would think twice about having someone around you because that's just weird. Why would you have to mention that? That's, it's almost like they're giving you the heads up, right? To who and what they are when they do that. Just saying.
No, I get it. Miss Robin shows her a lot of attention too in church.
Yeah, like, I'll sit there and she'd be like, give me a piggyback ride. I'll give her.
Yeah, that's a good example. Take Robin, for instance. Robin didn't say, oh, I don't show her weird attention. Robin didn't say nothing like that. Robin's like, Summer wanted attention, she was seeking love and she loved on me and I loved on her and I cared about the little girl and and showed her attention and everything and to make her life better while she's here and while I could. And Robin didn't say not weird attention, no. She didn't say that. She didn't even think of that because her mind don't go in weird places, right? Her mind doesn't go in weird places. She didn't need to mention it because there was no reason to. But Hunter needed to say that. I just find that fucking odd. That's just me.
Piggyback.
Like an older brother.
That's what I'm saying.
Is that kind of an older brother sister kind of vibe going here?
Yeah, that's what it was because her brothers just always used to pick on her, so I just show her how real brothers should act.
Okay. Okay.
Even though I'm not saying I'm the best brother here, you guys damn.
You should.
No, I have not. Actually, it's not his ex-girlfriend. She's back, to my understandings. The girl with the baby, she left him. She left him for another guy for a while. And the guy was, taking care of the baby, but they split up. The guy got tired of taking care of her and the baby. And she went back to Hunter. She's back with Hunter now. So interviewing her would get you nothing because, she's with Hunter. She's not going to say anything that's going to incriminate Hunter because she's back with him. And that's what she does. She leaves him and goes back and leaves him and goes back. Hunter's girlfriend likes to keep that open door into Allison's family. She likes to keep an open door to go back anytime she wants to, she likes to leave, but she likes to keep that open door to go back. And therefore she's not going, talking with her, questioning her. You might as well talk to the wall. I mean, you probably get, I think the wall would come closer to giving you, some insight and information than she would, to be honest with you. That's just my opinion.
Talk to my brother, man. It'd be messed up.
But it was like I was her older brother. Like, they treated us like family and we treated them like family.
Okay.
At one point in time, until one mess that happened with them that just split us apart, and then she came that day.
Okay. So she's here, Summer's here, Candace is here. You get permission to go fishing because Summer's going fishing. And you were kind of acting like a big brother, and you thought it'd be cool to go with her.
Yeah.
Do I have that accurate?
That's pretty accurate.
Okay, not bad for an old man.
And I mean, I wanted to get out the house anyways.
Sure.
I ain't even gonna put it to her. I just wanted to get out the house.
Okay. And so what happened then?
And then her grandmother calls her and says to come pick her up when we're sitting right there.
Oh, interesting. So where are you sitting in the car?
At first, I was sitting on the front seat.
Okay.
Like,
which way's the car pointing?
Like
do you
your
remember?
truck right now?
Just like my truck?
Yes.
Okay.
It was dead serious like that, but with like an overhead to the bed.
Okay.
Bed part.
Okay.
And we moved a box to the back.
Okay.
And then we moved the box to the very back, the first one where the overhead to the bed is. And then we put another one back behind, like that passenger seat right there.
Okay.
Right there, he told you that they moved all the boxes so he could get in the back passenger side seat. He let you know they cleaned that out. There was nothing there when he was riding around in the vehicle. Summer was on the driver's side back seat, and he was on the passenger side back seat. They moved them boxes. But after they left Allison's house, the boxes were back, blocking the window, and the milk, and Summer's in the middle, propped up on the milk jugs. That's leaning against those boxes. They put them boxes back because when they went to turn into Ben Hill Road, they thought the tree trimmers was still there. The tree trimmers was there when they left. They thought that the tree trimmers was going to be there when they came back. And they tried to block that window because the tree trimmers were working on Don and Candace's side of the road, not Jody Sue's, on Don and Candace's side of the road. And that's the window that they would have been looking into as Candace went down Ben Hill Road to go back up on the hill. And she didn't want them to be able to see Summer in the middle of the vehicle propped on those milk jugs. So they put the boxes back and piled them up to cover the window and hide what was behind them, which was Summer propped on milk jugs. Right? makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense to me.
Okay, and where's Summer?
Summer, she is on the driver's side, in the back seat.
Okay. Was there any milk or anything like that in the
Not-
car at that time?
Not until we got the price list, which was like I think it was a few hours later.
Okay, got it. Okay. Was there any other stuff in the car?
Nah, there was just boxes and like TVs in the back and
Okay.
everything.
How was Summer acting toward about going fishing? Was she,
Well, she gets excited because she likes to fish and swim. She's a little kid. She's energetic.
okay? And how's she dressed? Do you remember when you first saw her?
First saw her, I think it was a pink little tank top or purple.
Okay.
And I don't really do good with like something that happened like 3 weeks ago, a month ago.
No, it's cool. It's
I
cool.
can't remember having it yesterday. I don't know.
It's cool. Should see me drive.
But when we left, I think she had shorts on at first.
Okay.
Yeah, because she had shorts on because her mom put her bathing suit on her
Okay. Where did she put her bathing suit on her? Do you know?
inside.
In the house.
Yes.
So she changed her in the house.
Yeah.
Did she take the clothes with her?
Yeah.
Miss Allison, do you know?
No,
Okay.
I don't remember.
She was dead asleep in the bathroom.
That's fine. That's fine. So she changes her clothes here, and she takes her clothes with her.
Yeah.
Okay.
See? Candace had changed Summer at Hunter's house to go to that swimming hole. And she changed Summer's clothes at Allison's house after being at that swimming hole too. Trust and believe it.
Then what happened?
But then, when she got changed from swimming, they had bought her an outfit to put on because they were supposed to go to Jonesboro, I think. Yeah, Jonesboro for this big park, like water park.
Okay. So that was the initial thought?
I guess so. I mean, I don't know.
So what did you think was going to happen?
I thought we was just all gonna go fishing, swimming.
And then in the truck she changes the plan?
Nah, she changes it to swimming because she grabbed her mother.
Say it again?
She changed it to swimming because she grabbed her mother.
Oh, okay. So so from here, where do you guys go?
From here we go.
Why would she change it because she grabs her mother? Grabbing her mother isn't why they supposedly went to the swimming hole. The initial reason that they went to the swimming hole was because they had to wait for the prescription. And that's why they went over to the swimming hole, was so they could wait on the prescription. And then they was going to, because as soon as the prescription was ready, they went to pick it up. And then they went, and then they went to get the slushies, and then they went to the store and they went home. So what does it matter if you fish while you're waiting for the prescriptions, or if you're swimming while you're waiting for the prescriptions, right? What would make the difference? You got time on your hands, right? You got time on your hands. Sometimes you can go fishing and catch a fish in, the first 5 minutes you're there, you start catching fish. Sometimes you can go fishing and you didn't catch a fish the whole day, right? I mean, the fish ain't on a time. They don't wear watches. They don't start biting at a certain time. Fish are fish. And if you want to go fishing, you don't have to go swimming. Yeah. And where was fishing supposed to go fishing? I think it's all bullshit. I think it's bullshit. And I think they said the fishing thing. I'm going to tell you, in my opinion, why they, said fishing. And they didn't want the whole focus to be on swimming. They didn't want the whole focus to be on, the whole plan was to take this little girl out into the water and destroy her were in a place that no one could hear or scream. When you put somebody underwater, it's a silent death, right? It's a silent death. No one can hear you scream underwater. That's the one place that you could do something like that and not have no witnesses or no sound, right? And I truly believe that's what they did. That's just my opinion. And I'm going to tell you, yeah, you know, drowning is a pretty quick death, but it's awful painful. It's a very painful, a very scary and painful way to go out of this world, right? Because it basically suffocates you, and it don't only suffocate you, it makes your lungs burn and sting, and you know, it's a horrifying, and the whole time you're frightened. The whole time, you know, you're scared to death. It's a very traumatic way for a child to go out of this world. Actually, it's a very traumatic way for anyone. A very scary, very painful way to go out of the world. It's a horrifying death.
The hospital.
Okay.
Pick up her mother.
Pick up grandma.
Not even like 10 minutes later,
Okay.
we go to Walgreens.
Is that near the hospital?
No, it's on Fort Henry Drive.
Okay, so it's the Walgreens by the Warrior Park.
Yeah.
That one as you come out and it's right there.
Yes.
Okay.
So they said 35 minutes.
Okay.
So we could have been, that could have all took 35 minutes or more.
Okay. And then what happened when you, did somebody go into the store or did you go through drive-through again?
Drive-through again.
And where are you sitting at this point?
The same. Well, I was sitting in the middle because she was the person that was wet, and so she had a pillow under her.
Got it. So she's sitting on a pillow.
Mm-hmm.
The baby is.
Yeah.
Summer. Okay, where's that pillow now? Do you know?
The pillow now?
Yeah, the pillow.
I don't even know. I haven't been up to their house in like over a year, to be
Okay.
honest with you.
No, that's cool. So from there, where do you guys go?
From there, we go to Sonic.
Where?
Sonic.
Sonic? And what did you get at Sonic?
Slushies. Like a blueberry slushie.
Okay.
She got some purple one. Her mother got an orange one, and Summer got the same blueberry one.
So they bought a slushie at Sonic.
The one down, not by your Walmart, but the other one.
Okay. So now where's that Sonic at?
Fort Henry Drive.
Okay. Got it.
Before Walmart.
Okay. So from there, did they eat them there? Did you guys eat them there?
No, we ate them on the way to Priceless.
After Walmart.
Okay. So you eat the slushes all the way to what's it called?
Priceless.
Priceless. Okay. Where's that at?
Ask her. I really don't do good with like.
Do you know where that's at, Miss? Okay.
It's the one that she goes to by the liquor store.
Okay.
It's down.
It's down before you hit her
down.
road.
It's like almost across from J&J Auto.
Okay. And then
No, that's one. That's
who goes into the store?
Her and her mother again.
Okay, so Candace and her mom go in the store again. And that left you and Summer in the car.
Yeah.
And what are you guys doing?
Just still watching TikToks, listening to music, I mean, just sitting there watching TikToks mainly.
Is she lethargic? Is she, do you notice anything unusual about her?
I didn't know. I just seen that her hair was cut. That was it.
Yeah, but
And that's another lie. He said, I just seen that her hair was cut. No, right there he is. Right here, there he is on Ben Hill Road. This is Donnie Candace's property. This is up on the hill. And this is Summer holding one of the puppies. And that's Hunter coming up behind Summer. And as you can see, Summer's hair is all gone. Summer's hair is all gone. He knew her hair was gone. He knew before June the 15th that this baby's hair was all gone. There he is. That's him with the same black pants on. Right there, see him? And right there he is on the hill. That's Hunter. This is the picture of Hunter. What you're not seeing, some reason his face is cut off in this picture. But there he is. You can see the same black pants right there. There he is. It's him. That's Hunter right behind Summer. Same arms, same pants, that's Hunter. And he knows that her hair is cut. He said, he acted like he hadn't seen her since, the dispute between Jose and Candace and Allison. That's not true. Right there, proof. He knew. And he was lying. He was lying to Chris. He wanted to separate himself. From being part of what these people were planning, plotting, and doing. He knew. And Hunter was always, for some reason, being weird and being around Summer. I mean, right here, look. There's Summer. There's Hunter. Look. Why is he around her? Where's the boys? Where's the older boys? Ain't the oldest boy more Hunter's age? Why is he around this child? Just saying. This is weird. If there was some big old boy, hanging around with my kids, like, my older kids, and the next thing I knew, he's constantly around my youngest one, I would get suspicious. I would be like, what the hell's wrong with this kid? I mean, he's way too old to be, to want to be around a child that age. But there he is. As you can see, there he is. And that the boys and them are there, and there's Grandis. Look. They're all there, but he's hanging around Summer. I got more proof to this. There he is again. Around Summer. He's always around Summer. And as you've seen before, around Summer. Here he is. There he is, behind Summer. That boy had some kind of obsession with this little girl. There he is again. And that was on June 15th, 2021. This right here. This is the last time he was around Summer. And in my opinion, he destroyed that little girl for Candace. That's my opinion. I'll keep it. Are you sure that's the driver's
So the
side?
milk was in the middle?
No, it was on the one side or the other. I think I do got a picture. Let me just reassure myself because I could have swore she was behind Grandis's seat. But she could have been behind Candace's. That could be my bad.
Yes, Grandis was in the truck when they dropped Summer off. Yes.
Candace was in the truck when they dropped Summer off. Yes. Grandis was in the truck when they dropped Summer off. Yes. See? They dropped her off at Allison's to be cleaned up and to be dressed and then propped up when they got back. They went to the car wash. I bet you 10 to damn 1. They went and cleaned that car up. They went somewhere to clean that car up. Right there. Allison said it. Not PG. Allison said it. Why, I think everybody is entitled to their opinion. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. At one point I didn't think. At one point, I didn't want to believe that I didn't want to believe that a 15-year-old kid could be as evil as this child is. I didn't want to believe that. So I can see how people could not want to believe it. But, I had to face it. I had to go back to the hood, right? I had to go back to where I came from. And I had to remember, how dangerous a lot of 15-year-old kids were, right? Including myself, including myself, if you gave me reason. So, kids can be very dangerous. Just because you're 15 don't mean that you're not capable of doing some. Actually, at 15, you are more capable of doing sinister stuff. And I'll tell you why at 15, you're capable of doing more sinister stuff. Because you think you're going to live forever at 15. You don't give a damn what you do at 15. You're not thinking. You are not thinking past the end of your nose. And you just don't care what you're doing. And you think you're going to be doing it forever. And if you ain't doing it forever, you really don't care. At 15 years old, sometimes, I'm not speaking for all 15-year-olds, but I'm speaking for a whole lot of us. At 15 years old, you don't care if you're here or you're not in this world. You really don't care. Why? Because you've got stuff in your system, right? You've got some what you call goody good stuff in your system that makes you not give a damn. You're into stuff you shouldn't be into. It's altering the way you think. You don't got brains enough to understand it. And you pretty much are capable of anything if you get into the wrong type of people, the wrong type of places, the wrong type of stuff. 15-year-olds can be very dangerous. 14-year-olds can be very dangerous. I think that is the most, the most dangerous stages. the most, children don't think. Children, children will hit another person as hard as they can because they don't know no better. They don't understand the damage that they can cause another human being. And to be perfectly honest with you, a lot of them don't care, right? They don't care. There is children that can hurt another child and feel nothing. Feel nothing. They can't be shamed. They can't be, they just don't care. They have no feelings. And there's other children that, really feel bad. They don't mean to hurt the child. And they really felt bad about what they done. Matter of fact, some feel so bad that they cry, that they wish they didn't do what they done. And those are the good humans in the world. Those are the good humans in the world. It's the ones that didn't feel anything and didn't care how bad, and they do it again if they got the chance, that you better be careful of. Being like Don and Candace Wells doesn't start in adulthood. It started in childhood. And that's what people don't understand. Candace started not giving a damn about other people long before she became an adult. Donald started to be a control freak and feel like he owns everything and he has a right to violate whoever he wants to or whatever he wants to, long before he hit adulthood. These people were dangerous long before they became adults. And Hunter is no exception to this rule. No exception to it. Right? Most people, normal humans don't hurt other human beings unless they have probable cause. What I'm saying is, you have to do something pretty bad in order to get a normal human being to defend herself against you. And that's what they're doing, is defending themselves. Evil people, evil people like Dons and Candaces, and in my opinion, Hunters, evil humans like that, you don't have to give them no reason. They just like hurting other human beings. They like doing what they do to other human beings. And they feel nothing. They feel no remorse, no pity, no sorriness for what they've done. A normal human being, if a normal human being is forced to protect herself, they're being forced to do whatever they have to do to survive. They feel bad. They feel bad that the person that they had to protect herself against put them in that position. They feel bad for what they had to do to another human being to protect herself. They feel bad. These motherfuckers don't feel bad. Right? They're not normal. They're not normal. There is normal humans and abnormal humans. They are abnormal. And you know where the normal people make their mistake? Is thinking everyone is like you. And that it makes it hard for you to believe that these abnormal people exist. It makes it hard for you to believe that these abnormal people can do some really evil shit to you. You don't want to believe it. You turn a blind eye to it. And you know what? You get got. You get got by them. And then you say, oh, damn, I wouldn't have ever thought that they could be that evil to do what they've done to me. Well, you should have thought it. That's where you make your mistake. Don't think everyone's like you, because they're not. People are abnormal, and abnormal people, they expect, they don't respect. Abnormal people just take what they want. They don't ask. They think they have a right to just take whatever they want. And you should be good with it. Like when Hunter took his mother's money. He didn't give a damn about Allison. He just cared about himself. He showed every sign of being abnormal. He showed every sign of being like Don and Candace. And all of those signs were missed. They were missed because Allison didn't want to see them. Nobody wants to see it. But when you ain't willing to face it, and you ain't willing to see it, well, you get got by it. And Allison, in my opinion, got. Right? That's just my opinion. No. I'm going to tell you something. Hunter went straight out there into that water. We watched him on the video. There was nothing wrong with Summer when he entered into that water. Next time we saw Summer, she was on them milk jugs. You better think about that. I don't think you're going to slip on a rock or slip on a branch if you're just fine. If you are seen on video just fine out there playing in water, and all of a sudden some big person comes walking out there and the video goes off and you end up unalived, I don't think you slipped on a branch, and I don't think you slipped on a rock. I think that video went off because that big person was about to do what happened to you. That's my opinion. I'm going to keep it. Oh, she went under all right. She went under. She definitely went under. No doubt in my mind about that. No, because the time they wouldn't have had time. They wouldn't have had time to be off doing doing the dirty. They wouldn't have had time to be doing, and they wouldn't have been up there. They wouldn't have been up there taking time to dirty. To be honest with you, because they had it. They had an agenda. They had an agenda to do and get done, and they did it. Because from the time they went back, they didn't go. They went back to Walgreens. Like, they did everything within like a 30-minute span. From the time they dropped that prescription off and they went back to pick it up, it was like about 35 to 40 minutes. And Hunter was drinking a twisted tea. He was, probably doing a lot of other stuff. And Summer would have had to get down there. She would have had to get into the water. You done burned up probably 15, 20 minutes right there. And then Hunter, we seen him, he was having to get, work himself up to go out there to do what was going to be done. So, now we're into 25 to 30 minutes. So they got that shit done quick. They got that stuff done real quick and out of there. And don't think that law enforcement, hasn't put the time frame down as well. I mean, anybody could put that time frame together. It takes time. I mean, you got to pull in there, you got to park, you got to get out of the vehicles, you got to travel down there to that water area. If you got a kid ain't going to go straight into that water. The kid's going to mess around for a little bit before going in because it's cold. And, like I said, 20, 25 minutes is burn up. And then by the time Hunter got down there, you're hitting a 30-minute mark. So they, when he went into that water, what happened went quick. And right after that, they were leaving. So they didn't have time to be laying around nowhere. When you seen him going into the water, it was within 15, 20 minutes, they were back over at Walgreens with Summer on a pillow, all soaking wet. So they did that in a very, very quick hurry. And the only reason that Candace took that video of Hunter was for evidence in case he ran his mouth. She wanted, she wanted him to know, I have you here at the scene of the crime. I have proof you was with us. I have proof that you were at this swimming hole today with us. There's no way you're not going to go home and say, oh, I stayed home all day. Mommy's going to be my witness. I wasn't with these people. When it all goes down, I'm going to have proof you were there too. So you need to keep your mouth shut about what did go down. There's no way she was going to let that boy escape what was about to happen. Just saying. Oh yeah, absolutely, Lisa. Absolutely, he would. No doubt in my mind, he would go to jail. Yes. Yeah, I believe she was too. Charlene, absolutely. I believe that Summer was unalived at that pond. Hunter lied. He lied about so many things, and there's no reason to lie if you're innocent. You don't need to lie, right? Um, just saying. But anyway, I wanted to talk about this tonight. I just wanted to, bring some key points up that, could be used to, in a court of law to prosecute this up and get the truth for this little girl. But they're not doing it. They're not doing it, Um, if we got, if we got all of this and understand all of this, then trust me, law enforcement definitely has it. They definitely understand it. I mean, and they got more. They didn't just got this. They've got a hell of a lot that we don't. Trust and believe me, they got a whole lot that we know nothing about, right? A whole lot. We're going to talk about that Saturday night. We're going to talk about it. But they've got a lot that we don't. And they're still not prosecuting with it. Our question is, why? Why? That's what we need and want to know, right? Why are they not following the leads that could actually bring Summer to the surface? Why do they have so much solid evidence that they're not using to prosecute and get this case solved? Why was they up there when Don's in jail busting up things? What was they looking for? What was they hoping to find? And why was Candace hiding so much shit at Kathy the friend's house during that time that Don was in jail? Why? Just saying. There's a whole lot of whys in this case. And we would like to answer. We would like to answer to those whys. I don't need answers to what. I know what happened. I don't need answers to where. We know where it happened. I don't even need answers to why it happened, because I believe we know that too. We need answers to why this case ain't being solved. Why is law enforcement not doing their job where Summer's case is concerned? It's a scary thought to think that there's some cases law enforcement just don't want to solve. Oh, I know of other cases they didn't want to solve as well. And I know why they didn't want to solve them. And usually when law enforcement ain't wanting to solve a case, it's because somebody carrying a lot of authority is hindering it. Right? Put a 1 in the chat if you agree. Who is that somebody? Who is that somebody? I don't know. Right? Oh, yeah. I want to tell you, Hunter, oh my gosh, could you only imagine? Can you imagine the shit he took that he's going to take the rest of his life? You know, from people just knowing this case and knowing that Candace groomed him. You know, how many people know what Jose said that Candace said? I mean, Jose came out and said, Candace told me that, you know, she was Hunter's first, right? Man, I'm going to tell you something. That boy has to be pretty fucking violent and pretty strong to survive, you know, all of that. Because I'm going to tell you why. The average human out here, if Candace was their first, she'd probably be their fucking last, right? I mean, that's just enough to put you under, right? For the average person, that's enough to put you fucking under. I wouldn't even want to think about it, right? I wouldn't even want to think about it, let alone do it. And, you know, Hunter's got to live the rest of his life with the whole world knowing, you know, that old crusty butt, crusty rusty, old lady groomed him, you know. Whoa. That's just disgusting. That's disgusting. Somebody older than his mother, right? Some old hag older than his mother. Some woman that looks, you know, like his papa groomed him. And probably, you know, and if he would do that, Grandis probably had him too. That is just nasty. That's nasty. Oh my gosh. You know, that's a fucking life sentence within itself. Right? That's a life sentence within itself right there. That's gross. That's mother freaking gross. I mean, whoa. I would want restitution. I mean, if I was Hunter, I'd want restitution for what them bitches done to me. Right? Donald's mother freaking dilapidated freaking ran down shack. You know, Don Wells, Green Acres wouldn't be enough. That's what that place reminds you of, is mother freaking Green Acres. All falling apart and shit, right? A bunch of land, a bunch of land with everything collapsing on it. That's just ooh. Right? You expect to go down Ben Hill Road and see Fred up on a telephone pole trying to call somebody. That's what you expect to see. You expect to see Jody Sue and Andy out there, you know, with their big freaking pig, right? Their big pig Arnold. Come on, Arnold. All right. Let's go, Arnold. Snort, snort. All right. The pig's smarter than they are. That's some funny shit. Right? All right, you guys. Listen, it was wonderful that you guys all showed up tonight for Summer, to be her voice, to be here for her. God bless each and every one of you. God bless you. And I'm going to tell you something. I really appreciate it. You don't know how much. I know I don't say it often enough, but I really do appreciate you being here and being here for this little girl and being here for one another. God bless y'all. But I'm going to head out of here. I got to go check on little man, right? I got to go take a look at little man and make sure that Uncle, you know, hasn't spoiled him worse than he's already spoiled. So I know, you know, I gotta watch him. I gotta watch him because they try to hold him. They try to hold him all the time. They all, you know, they all want to hold him because he's new. He's new. My husband wants to hold him. You know, the uncles want to hold him. My kids want to hold him. And he's getting spoiled. And then I'm going to be left. I'm going to be left with a baby that, you know, I got to hold all the time because they're going to want, you know, they're going to want to be outside playing sports and stuff. And my daughter's going to want to hang with their little girlfriends. And the uncles are going to, you know, want to be doing all the stuff they do too, right? Out with their girlfriends and doing one thing and another. And my husband, he'll probably pick up a second job to get away from it all. Right? And you know, I'm gonna be stuck. I'm gonna be stuck holding little man 24/7 for the next couple of years. Right? I'm gonna be doing a sentence. But anyway, yeah. I'm gonna be doing life anyway. I'm gonna be doing life, right? Children are for life. And but they spoil him. They really do. So I'm gonna have to go and make sure that he don't get too spoiled by him. But I appreciate each and every last one of you guys being here. I appreciate you guys, you know, asking about little man and caring about him. You know, caring about him like I do. You guys are really, really good people. Don't ever let nobody tell you that you're not good people, because you are. God bless you. You're like diamonds in the rough. Trust me. There ain't a whole lot of us left. There are not a whole lot of us left who really, truly care about other people in this world. And trust and believe when I say you got gifts in heaven and blessings to come on this earth. It's true. It's true. But keep those prayers going up for Summer. Keep them going up for her. She's counting on us. She is counting on us to get her found, brought home, and justice served. Michael Vaughn's counting on us. Sebastian's counting on us. Jack and Lily's counting on us. Little Emmanuel, he's counting on us. Children, these children being used and abused and destroyed, they all count on us. We need to be here for them. Do all we can to help them. It may not be a lot, But if we can get anything that might help, it's worth being here for. Amen. So keep those prayers going up, because prayer is the number one key. We can't do anything God don't let us. So we got to pray that he lets us find Summer, that he lets us find Michael, he lets us find Sebastian, he lets us find Jack and Lily, and he lets us find Emmanuel, and he lets us find any other child out there that is needing to be found as well. So keep those prayers going up, you guys, and keep them going up for one another. A family that prays together stays together. And God made this a family. He made us a family for these missing children. So let us pray for one another as well. It's not hard. You just have to tell God, I don't know what all of these people need, God. I don't know what they want. I don't know what they need. But God, I know you do. And some of them, God, they really need their prayers answered. Because it's not a want, it is a need. They need what they're praying for. So let us join in and pray with them. Let us join in on that prayer, Lord, and pray with them. And we pray that you answer all of our prayers in the name of Jesus. Amen. And that's how easy it is to pray for one another. I just prayed for you. Make sure you pray for everybody too. Good night, everybody. God bless and much love. And you're so right. You're so right. Texas Blue 22. Daniel was arrested. He was arrested because his girlfriend, wife, I'm not sure if he was married to her or not, but she obviously filed charges. She obviously came forth and told about a whole lot of abuse and everything. And to my understandings, yeah, he got arrested and is in the custody of law enforcement as we speak. That is so true. I am so glad you brought that up. I'm so glad. And I hope while he's in the custody of them that they interrogate him enough that maybe he breaks down, tells the truth, and Jack and Lily can be found. Amen. God bless you. God bless you for reminding us of that.